Hiya, how you doing? You're welcome to another edition of Starting Over with La Beams. My name is Bimbo Olasope, aka La Beams, and you're welcome to the Soul Show. Starting Over with La Beams. This is a show I encourage you. If you perchance find yourself at crossroads, you need to start over, maybe after a bad divorce, a bad relationship, a bad career path, anything, but you just have to start over, picking yourself up again. I'm meant to just encourage you. It's possible to be done. I've walked the path, and I just want to encourage you with my own life challenges and how God has been able to keep me, help me, and still helping me see me through. Okay, so just hold your hands, kind of, to make you know that it can be done with your head held up high. It will not always be easy, trust me. I have stories for days, but the truth is it is possible. Okay, and yeah, I've gone through a whole lot. For you to know all of those things, you need to check past editions of the Soul Show. It is right here on my YouTube channel, Labims TV. I have a playlist called Starting Over with Labims. Just click on the playlist and binge to your heart's desire. I'm sure you'll be able to pick one or two things that will help you navigate your starting over journey better. Okay. All right. So every edition or every episode, I always talk about different topics, in line with maybe what I've walked through or what I've noticed and observed, and I feel like it can help you in this journey. So today I'll be talking about the God factor. Yeah, I know some people don't want to hear this. They be like, hey, God. I remember when I relocated to the UK 2021, and people were reaching out to me, how did you do it? And I was like, guys, it was just God. And I remember one particular person, interestingly, she's now in Canada. She was like, leave all that, God, tell us, what did you do? And all of that. And I was like, look, it's not a case of what did I do, it's a case of how God helped me navigate it and make those things possible. I did the normal thing I was supposed to do, did the application and all of that. But the truth of the matter is, if the God factor was not involved, it would not have come through. It would not have come to fruition. It would not have happened. So it was not as if I bribed anybody or I told anybody. I did the application myself, for myself and my children. So a lot of people tend to undermine the place of God in their journey, and I'm just here to remind you of the God factor. See, forget about new age, being woke, and all of that. Even the people that don't carry God on their head, like they're not shouting at God, 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 God. All the life coaches and everything, they'll tell you, oh, law of meditation, it's from the Bible. They'll tell you law of attraction, it's from the Bible. Believe in yourself, NLP, all those things. If you look at the foundation of all of these things, they are biblical principles at play. I'm a certified life coach by the way, so just in case you're wondering, yeah, I've been certified I think 8 or 9 years ago from Larry OLCA, Larry Olushola's coaching academy and all of that. I've also done NLP, neuro linguistics programming. I've done all of those things because I was on a journey of healing, in the course of my journey of healing from all the things that life had hit me with, I just needed all of this. I just found at the end of the day, going out through all this still stems back to principles from the Bible and of course the God factor. So that's what I'm here to tell you about. If you're going to start over, you need the God factor. Don't let anybody deceive you. I've also walked the path of going to spiritualists. I don't hide this. I've said this several times. I think I'm going to bring back those series again called Living My Truth series. I used to write about different things that happened to me and all of that. It was my place. It was my way of actually healing as well, and I went to spiritualists, people that it's not that they don't call God and all of that, but they believe that you have to use physical things to be able to connect, and all of that, and it got me nowhere. In fact, the moment I started doing those things, my life a back I spiraled backwards again. And it was one of those spiritualists that actually called me. I was like, what are you looking for? That God told him to tell me. It was interesting. One of those spiritual, in fact, one of the most powerful of the spiritualists I was going to see at that time was one that said, look, God has already given you authority and power. You just need to confess your sins and tap into it. And I was like, oh, wow. So what am I here to talk to you about today? The God factor. You can never take it for granted. You can never underestimate the place of God in the journey of your life. So perchance, yes, I went through a domestically abusive marriage. I left the marriage after 7 years, and then I struggled. This is my 16th year now since I've been divorced, yeah. But I can remember that the first 10 years after I left the marriage, even during the marriage it was bad. But after the marriage, it became even worse because, I was now doing it by myself, trying to with my 2 children, no job, I went from grace to grass. I had to start all over again, lost friends, all of those kind of things. A lot of horrible things happened. In fact, it was so bad we couldn't feed. It was like I saw paper. I got almost called paper money because it was that bad, and all of that. But in all of that journey, me starting to climb up again, starting to survive, and all of that, the God factor kept me going. And when I talk about the God factor, it's acknowledging God in your life, praying to Him, communicating with Him, fellowshipping with Him. Because at a point in time when everything was even going bad, it was the church that really helped me. One particular church disappointed me, another church helped me. So that is it. So you have to be careful even with churches, because the other church that disappointed me was a church I'd attended for 18 years of my life. I held a prime position in that church where I felt like, oh, this ones will be able to still have my back. But when push came to shove, because I divorced my husband, like, oh, divorce is not good, it's not this, it's not that, they didn't support me. The other church where that did not even know me from Adam were the ones that ended up supporting me. They even paid my children's school fees for a whole session. That's 3 terms. 3 terms they paid my children's school fees. Do you understand what I'm trying to tell you here? That is the place of God, because at that point I'd lost hope. At that point, God now raised, God also raised some people to help me. One of my sister-in-laws with her children, amazing. I think I've shared this so many times. Big mommy, her children, fantastic. The ones that will give you sending money, food stuff and all of that. Look, you need the God factor, because whoever is going to help you, it is God that is going to lay it on their heart to help you. And that is why sometimes you reach out to people that you feel like, I just want to be able to support me no matter how small, and the person is like, I'm sorry, I can't. Not because God has not laid it in the hand or the heart of the person to help you, to support you. And then you get upset with that person. I've spoken about entitlement mentality. You might want to catch one of the past editions. Please go check it out on my YouTube channel, LaBeams TV. There's a playlist there so that you don't have to keep looking for the episode. So I have a playlist called Starting Over with LaBeams. You will see it right there. The entitlement, you have to drop the entitlement mentality. Go watch it. You understand what I'm talking about. In the place of starting over, a lot of people will disappoint you. Not because they want, some because they want to, some because they can't help it, some because it is what it is. Do you understand? So please, please, please don't allow yourself get frustrated. Don't allow yourself get to the point where, hey, nobody is there. God is always there. He is always there. You just have to connect with Him. Yes, sometimes the answers don't come when we want, or don't come as fast as we want it to, but somehow He'll keep you going. Look at it. You've been complaining all this time. You've been worried. But you are still here. Somehow, you thought we will not be able to eat, will not be able to, but somehow God made a way. That's kind of God He is. So I'm just here to just encourage you with today's episode that you need to connect with God. The God factor is very important in the journey of your starting over, because that's what's going to keep you going. I know how many times I cried, wept, the journey, it gets easier with time, but sometimes I think I spoke about 2 weeks ago where I still cried and I was like, oh God, it was emotional part of it that was making me cry. So there are so many different facets to starting over. Either as a single mom, either you're starting over because maybe you had a bad issue, your career path. I had a career path trajectory. Where I am now, I graduated university 25 years ago, year 2000. Where I am now, working, my children's mates are my managers, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27. They are my managers. So because of that, she now say, my life is, no, but I'm okay, I'm cool. Because I've learned in the course of the journey of life that, look, the God factor is what keeps you going. What I'm earning is not even enough to keep me going. But guess what? I remember the day I was complaining to God, God, this salary. God was like, remember the 5 loaves of bread and 2 fishes? Look at your expense. Is it your salary you're spending? And I just have to just let go. Like, okay, cool, I'm good. So the God factor, never take it for granted. Please. All right, there's no protocol wherever you might be. I don't want this to sound like conspiration, but wherever you might be, just call on God. Get the Bible. Start to study the Bible. The Bible is accessible online, offline. Study. Connect with God. You don't need to go through anybody. Only Jesus Christ. And that is wherever you might be. Just call on Him, invite Him in. Some way or the other, He will send someone, something. You will just know that this can only be God. Okay? So with these few words of mine, I'll be able to convince you and not confuse you that the God factor is very important in the journey of your starting over. All right. So please catch past edition of Starting Over with LaBeams Show, the Soul Show, on my YouTube channel, LaBeams TV, LABIMS TV. Please subscribe, like, comment, share. I appreciate. Okay, you never can tell. All right. So till I catch you in the next edition, my name remains Bimbo Olasokwe. From me right here. Bye. Stay safe.